Welcome to Gray Areas, I think. I'm still kind of scrambling here, but
I've been welcomed.
You've been welcomed.
Yeah, I feel welcome.
The audience has been welcomed. I don't even have my phone up to tell if we're live or not. I just got home, but I think we're live. Let me know in the chat. I saw some people in the chat talking before the show. There we go. Nick says, I'm so welcome. So he must be hearing something. Either that or he got the luckiest guess in the history of mankind. Dave is not here yet either. He's dealing with dad stuff. All of us were pretty much slammed in trying to get here last minute today, but we're here because we love you and each other.
I wasn't really that slammed. I mean, I was watching a meeting when I got here, I suppose, so that counts.
I can't believe Dave is not here because I was going to say this is going to usher in a new era because Cody just got married. That's a new era.
Yes.
But Dave and I, we have like an alliance now.
Why are you aligned against who? Me?
And this is we're just together when we used to be apart. I've watched the Orville. We continue to watch it together. I was thinking about, to this day, he is the only one, you know where this is going, who said, congrats on the new job, Sean. The only one on the podcast. Dave.
I said it, like, way after the fact, kind of.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I said,
yes, you did. You did. You did. When I was like,
well, after
no,
you,
sure
after
would be nice. And
you
like,
beckoned it out of me.
Congratulations.
I was like, oh, yeah, congratulations on your new job. I hope it's going well.
And I was like,
you dragged it out of me.
But then if you don't say it after I said it, then that's like,
yeah,
but kind of a no-win.
But isn't that exactly what I would do?
Didn't
I would sit there and watch you and hear you say, I really wish people would congratulate me. I'd be like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then I'd walk away.
You're like, I don't care at first. And then you're like, no, congrats.
Didn't we have a whole conversation in the kitchen talking about the job and I said congrats? We talked about some of the issues that you were going to face with it.
Yeah, we definitely did. But again, it was way after the fact, so it doesn't count.
It should be also noted, though, that you also never told me you got the job. I had to pick it up.
Text message.
I had to pick it up from context clues.
No,
but you text those two. You excluded me from that.
I'm not talking about the first new job. I'm talking about the second new job.
Okay,
I announced to you guys the second in a text message.
I don't think I was in that. I think it was to those two. I don't think I was included.
No, you were.
I think that was in your son's text.
You said John Oliver hates you.
Oh, I fucking did say that.
He's like, that sounds like.
Oh fuck, that was my immediate.
Maybe gives context.
God damn it, that was my immediate. I
don't want to say what job it is, just because they're like very like.
Well, it's for DraftKings because John Oliver's
I was like,
about sports betting this week.
I don't know, Sean. I did not know you were working at Disney now because that's who John Oliver seems to really hate right now.
You're a migrant worker.
New Disney employee.
See, but you claim you have an alliance with Dave. My purpose here is to break that alliance and then flip-flop who I want to be aligned with.
I know.
When the winds push me a direction.
We had an alliance. But here's what
Dave's been encroaching on that though.
But you kept winning trivia.
Yes.
And the power went to your head. And you're
100%.
And you know what? You were like, guess what? I don't need an alliance. I am at the top. So if you are, I mean, it depends what happens next trivia. If you lose,
when I'm losing.
If you lose, maybe there's a new alliance. If you win again, you're gonna be like, I really don't need any of you. So we're going to see. It's a saga.
I mean, there's a lot of things going to my head right now as I hold a wrestling championship belt over my shoulder.
I know. And
like a douchebag.
Just got married.
And that's cool. Most importantly, my hockey team's playing really well, and I have a wrestling belt.
They did. We talked about your hockey game.
I watched the whole show. I watched the whole show, and I have some remarks, in fact.
You have the chance right
now.
But
here's the thing. Are you going to talk about hockey? Because I'm concerned about talking about hockey again.
No, not really.
Actually, I'm not concerned. I don't give a shit.
Sean, you know what? You've always asked me, and this is my gift to you. Show notes. Look at this.
Oh my God.
I watched the episode last night and I took notes down about what to touch on.
This is a new era, truly.
I'm scared.
So to go off very quickly since Dave's here, and I will talk about the wedding itself when Dave's around because I'm sure he'll have some nosy ass little questions about it. So from last week, Sean, you calling Vegas adult Disneyland? Absolutely true. 100% could not be more correct, except for it's more disgusting.
Well, but and just to be clear, the point being, against all the people saying, why do adults go to Disneyland?
Which was horseshit.
It is just Disneyland.
I couldn't be more on board with you of the people who say that, including, I would assume, the people who follow a man who has a fucking hotel in Las Vegas. Go fuck yourselves. Right. Adults can go to Disneyland if they want, especially if they're not like pushing little kids out of the way for rides. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Adults can do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, so I'm walking with Chris and Maisie, having this conversation fresh in my head of like making fun of Disneyland, and I look over and the fucking Excalibur is there.
Yes.
With all their bullshit, and I was like, what the fuck?
Which, by the way, they don't even lean into that well enough. The team two arena casinos whatever over is the Golden fucking Knights, and yet the Excalibur New York has embraced the shit out of it as a hotel. They love the Knights. It's the hotel that's right in the plaza. It makes sense. They literally the Knights marching band and cheer team walk through the hotel drumming before. Which
we saw that.
Yeah, which is again another super cool thing they do. The Excalibur, because it's so far away, is just like shit out of luck for this perfect theme connection. The fact that they have a show called the Tournament of Kings underneath the hotel, they have the horses run around. It's basically like medieval times.
We're right, yeah.
No fucking association with the Golden Knights at all for these years, and I cannot fucking believe that. Moving on, bitching about all of the disgusting things that happen in Las Vegas. It's called Sin City for a reason. Like
I know, but like
but I was like, yeah, you're right. It's really funny that I like it so much when 80% of the things that you pointed out are things that happen in Vegas. I don't do.
You know what's funny though? I will say, I was like, you know what? For the first time, I've always hated Vegas, and I went this time and I was like, oh, as it's the same thing with Disneyland, sort of. Although I've also loved Disneyland, but the things I love have changed. Long story short, the food is really good.
The casinos do a pretty good job, especially the concepts come and go and this and that. Even if you go off strip, there's a lot of good food. It's an underrated food city, like very much so.
And I didn't realize it until the last day we were there. And there was a plaza, and I'm sure a lot of places do this, but there was like pizza, which was really good, and like pastries over here, crepes over here.
Was that New York?
No, it was next to Tom's.
Well, yeah, but it was inside the New York.
Oh, sorry,
yes,
yeah.
It was
cool.
It is. The crepe place is pretty solid for what it is, and I mean most of those places I've liked a lot. It is that's actually why I like the New York so much. I love that cobblestone type of walkway eatery thing.
That was cool.
That's one of the coolest places that exists in Vegas to me, is just being able to walk through that and find infinite amounts of food that are pretty damn good.
I don't know if Maisie's ever had better pizza. Or maybe she's just really hungry, but she might have been
well, how drunk was she?
I don't know. She's saying I can hear her yelling from downstairs.
Now she's arguing.
She was like, it was like orgasmic is the word I would say when she was eating that pizza. It was insane.
Yeah, so she was drunk. The only things on
hungry,
hockey,
but I think it was also fair to say it was really good.
Yeah.
Did she ate the one that is the pizza place that's down in that walkway area?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. It is considered one of the best, better pizza places on the strip. So she's not even full of shit. I've seen reviews and people go and be like, "That is if you get it when it's good, it really is one of the better ones."
I ate it with a knife and fork, and everybody had such a problem with it. Courtney and Maisie. Anyways, she's screaming.
The only hockey things I will touch on briefly. Sean, you wanting a team full with dead people to cheer for hockey is just a hilarious concept.
Well, I don't want to cheer for the dead people.
Well, you want to cheer for the replacements of the dead people. So you basically want like what? We Are Marshall? Is that the movie when they all die?
Yeah. Or the replacements, but that's not what happened there.
There's no lockout.
But the same idea. Yeah, it's like the team goes down. Did they lose in We Are Marshall ultimately?
I think so. I don't know. McConaughey's in that movie, right? That's all.
And Jack from Lost.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do they do with the hats after a hat trick? Various teams do it. Some donate them to sick kids in the hospital. Some have displays. I believe the Kings, if I remember right, have a big box and they dump all the hats in there and it just fills up over the years. And then I think when it fills up, they donate them.
Oh, okay.
So some either have it on display or they donate it or a combination of both. It's up to the teams.
But so they, so two questions. Nick, your personal pizza chef. Is it okay to eat pizza with a knife and fork? First of all, I'm asking you, Nick. Secondly, so you throw the hat and you're never seeing it again.
No, you're not getting it back.
That's crazy.
It's a hockey thing. I mean, the thing is, again, Chris mentioned it's once every 25 games, some shit like that you have a hat trick. It's so rare and it's such an old school tradition that people don't care. If you have one, you wear it to the game. If you're a big enough fan,
you're probably not wearing your nicest hat to a hockey game, right? Just in case.
Probably just in case. I probably wouldn't do that.
Okay.
You're right.
Or you buy one at the team shop on the way out, and then you're back where you started.
Yeah.
But some people get really particular about hats, like the brim's just the right way, or it's got my sweat stain, or whatever.
Or Chris, to your point, it's an excuse to buy a new hat. You're like, cool, time to upgrade.
Yeah, this one's okay, but look at this cool new logo.
Yeah.
And so what I gathered from Sean's explanation, which is basically what we do when we stay at a house in Phoenix, is you need to go to Vegas during May or June and go to one of the nice pools. Just go down early, get a nice chair, sit out in the sun. and play your Switch
I
and get
know,
a drink.
but it's so crowded. That's, I think, the problem. There's like so many people.
So like, there's a sweet spot in time where the weather's good enough and there's not enough people. So for example, we went. Unfortunately, the pool I got very lucky. I'll tell this story more in depth later. But like, we went to the pool the next day. It got closed because the wind was too bad. So my cabana that I got fucked over on Tuesday because they had to kick us out of the pool. There's hardly anybody down there, even though right around now in March, the temps are into the high 70s, low 80s. You go then, not a lot of people are in Vegas yet, and the pool is pretty empty. And if you catch it on a good day, you can basically sit down there with like 50 people on that entire Mandalay Bay beach that we were at. There was like 50 people there on Tuesday. And for about 2 hours, the weather was decent enough.
You're speaking my language.
Because
you're saying I can play the Switch the whole time.
You could. You
And
absolutely could.
Sounds pretty cool. And I want you to know, when we went to the room, that's all I did.
I assumed so. I dragged you guys to it, which is I was laughing when I was listening to last week's show because I was like, I did drag everybody, with the exception of mostly Dave, to a city that you weren't gonna love a ton.
No, well, I had a lot of fun, I should say.
But did that make you feel better about the decision to not get a house in April in Las Vegas? And then be theoretically in Las Vegas for a week.
Well, okay, here's the only thing I'll say though. We walked the strip a little bit. We went to Raising Cane's, which is hilarious. Just because
you went the one that's across from MGM or by
and
MGM.
It was like really nice. Food was good.
Yeah.
It was like one of the nicest rated Raising Cane's.
It's like a 2-story Raising Cane's.
It was actually awesome. And we did the place, which was fun. And we would probably go to shows. And that's the thing that I do like about Vegas is being able to go to the shows.
Even if they are now, unfortunately, like about $100 a piece regularly.
You know, I wouldn't probably go to multiple in that case, but like there would at least be one, maybe two. Taking advantage of being there.
As of now, you're forced to go back to Vegas in April. You have concert tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we're just going to do like an overnight thing. I mean, you have to see Carrot Top. I have a question about Carrot Top. What? So he has shows that I assume are doing very well. He's in Vegas.
He does. I mean, he's been in the Luxor for years now, and from what I read, he's still pretty entertaining, even if it's the same bullshit he did on TV.
What I don't
years
understand
ago.
is like his bit, like his reputation is being known as the guy everybody hates.
Yes,
and yet he is doing great for himself. I've never seen his show. I don't know.
Here's what I would argue is, in America, we think he's fucking annoying. How many international people are in Las Vegas, and how many weird fucking shows that you make fun of David Copperfield, which again, I don't know what the fuck his theme of his show is.
Fucking dinosaurs on the
poster.
It's
bizarre as shit. I think so much of that is we're exposed to that type of bullshit in America. We remember Carrot Top from the AT&T commercials years ago. Is that what he was on? I think Copperfield's just been a name that has existed perpetually for our entire existence. I think if you come from Europe or wherever, or Asia, and it's you may know of these things, but it's who's the weird crazy ginger guy who's gonna honk a horn and be weird the entire time for the show? And I think that actually is interesting to people who aren't from our cultural zeitgeist, basically.
Interesting.
And I have a feeling if you went through there and you listened to everyone who walked out of those shows, I bet half of it's foreign. I don't think that many American people are that pumped up to go do this shit.
How many people do you think go to Thunder Down Under? How many men go to Thunder Down Under?
Hardly any.
Because I would be curious to go.
Because I have been in the Excalibur when the show has gotten out.
Yeah.
Near the bar upstairs. And it is a fuck ton of 30 to 50-year-old women.
Which makes a ton of sense. But I would think, I would go. I'd be like, let's see it.
I mean, if you're a single guy who's in his mid-30s, early 40s, that's where you should hang out. You just got to wait in that bar till all the women get out of that show.
Well, there's that. There's, maybe I could pick up some tips.
Sure.
They're doing great. Now, I think it probably, I can't get shredded like that, but there's probably some dance moves or something.
They're down in the front advertising their abs in the front of the Excalibur pretty often. You could stop and talk to them the next time you're there.
Oh, my God. I have no reason to go to Vegas.
You can get a free photo with a couple of them. They just hang out in the corner by the where they have the oyster, not the oyster, whatever the fuck you get the pearl from. Yeah. Whatever animal you get when you pull the thing and then you open it up, they have a little stand right next to that.
Fuck.
You missed out.
All right, well.
Should have walked to the Excalibur more.
I'm going to take a picture with them. It'll be before and after, and that'll be my goal, is to be like them.
So I tried to vamp this as much as possible. Dave's still not here.
No, you're out of time.
Yeah, I did. I helped.
Yeah, Sean helped. I tried to ramble as much as I could.
Yeah. Well,
Hit the serious topics. He's not here, so that's his own loss.
So, yeah. I mean, I could talk about being married now. I don't know. Am I supposed to wait for him?
No. What are we gonna do? Wait till 8:45?
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, but you being married now, we were talking about it, is as boring as me being married because we were already married,
sure.
and this didn't change
But
anything.
But now I have a forum to rant about my experiences of my own wedding.
you can talk about the wedding. Yes,
Yes.
that is a new thing.
Yes.
But like, I mean, yours seemed to go really nice.
Besides
Was it
my
not
officiant who was insane.
What? So, can I hear the story about?
Oh, I'll tell you the story. I
Okay.
met him 25 minutes before you guys saw him talking to me.
That's
That's
really
exactly
interesting
what it was.
because I was like, we shouldn't talk bad about the officiant.
No, I'm here to do it.
Because he clearly knows Cody very well.
Right.
Yes.
I was gonna watch the show.
He clearly knew my last name and clearly knew Raya's first name.
And, from our perspective, since we ended up in the seats closest somehow, we could see some of that going on as it happened. But I also thought, like, well, it's not uncommon if he's going to do 10 weddings a day. He wants to just double check or, like, whatever. You don't want to say somebody's name wrong. So it's interesting to know that it was actually worse than we
Well,
thought.
he asked my name and asked Raya's name 20 minutes before in our dressing room, so I had hoped that maybe it would have stuck.
What is funny though is him being like, "I can see your love," and it's about like he talked like he knew you for years.
Well, that's the job. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when you do these weddings, if it was up to me, and we had the creative freedom, which we don't, you go to Mandalay Bay, a lot of things are built in. I would have had to pay a lot of money to have someone I personally knew officiate my own wedding, which
Makes
one of my best
sense.
friends had one of my other best friends officiate. Another one's going to do the same thing. I couldn't do that because if we did that, we had to pay some money. Then we also had to have a rehearsal, which then cost us more money.
Yeah.
So that would take our wedding from, let's be transparent here, like about $4 or $5 grand to about $6-7 grand. So we probably weren't going to do that. So we also, you guys mentioned that he didn't reference God at all. It's because we chose a civil ceremony. We didn't
That's
want
good.
a mention of God. Ryan and
That's
I are
good.
very much not religious. So we didn't really want a whole lot of mentions of that, which I had to remind him of, despite the fact that we had told everybody that.
He wanted
20
to dive into
Well,
it.
he double checked. He's like, so it's civil, right? I'm like, yes. Then he went to Raya and asked her as well. I'm like, were you double checking me? We've also written civil on our thing for, however many months. Point being, yes, with these things, they have an officiant on retainer call, whatever. So yes, we met him for the first time. Again, actually, as you guys said, what he said, I actually enjoyed. I did appreciate a lot of the message
I
that
was
he had
gonna say,
said.
because I know he's listening.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a pretty good job.
But he was an interesting guy. He was very close to my face when he talked to me.
He sure
He
was.
sure
He seemed like he was Raya's great grandfather who wanted to kill me for marrying her. At some instances there. But
I
yes,
wasn't
that
sure
was,
why he was so insistent on being 6 inches away.
I'll never know. The photos of the ceremony themselves are pretty funny because he is right up in my face. But like again, like that, I look at it as a really funny story now to kind of go off of and tell of like, yeah, remember how zany our officiant was, while also having a really sweet message to it.
Yeah.
And as he was speaking, it was funny because he was saying some stuff, and I'm like, wow, that ties into my vows pretty well. Like and then sure enough, they tied into Raya's pretty well. I think Raya and I's vows are actually relatively similar.
Yeah.
With absolutely no preparation to that, we didn't let each other see anything or tell each other anything of what we were going to do. So it was just kind of a happy accident. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that day went much smoother than I could have possibly imagined. And you guys joked about being in the front row and not feeling comfortable. There's 3 fucking rows of seats on each side.
Man, that was crazy.
There's 48 people at my
That was
wedding,
crazy.
so pretty much anybody was close.
I said it before, but Courtney and I were like, what's happening?
I wasn't going to put in like, you need to sit there, and who gives a shit? Honest, like who fucking cares? Like, we love all of you guys, and we're really, really happy that all of you guys who came, it's the core grouping, again, removing some of, Raya's family stuff that went on. Like, basically everyone I invited, but I think 1 or 2 people were able to go. And the people that couldn't go had actually already scheduled something years in advance because it was a cruise and it was they were able to go on. So everyone I invited, you guys all came, and you all came from fucking different states and far away. And I really, really appreciate it. So no, I'm not going to be like, no, you two you're not as close to me, so you need to go to the third row. Like, who gives a fuck?
There was something I didn't want to do what was it? I can't remember.
Because remember, I walked out and I was like, holy shit, this is really tiny.
Chris talked about being terrified of ruining the wedding. Just like in general. He's like, I don't want to be that guy. And then I started thinking, oh God, I don't want to be that guy either. And
What
I
were you
was like,
going to possibly do to ruin
what
the
if
wedding?
I fucking fall in the wave pool
in the
or
sand?
like, I don't know. Yeah. But it was fine. It ended up being really good.
Also, as you guys talked about, the number one thing Ryan and I wanted to do was not drag that shit out.
very brisk,
just extremely not want
but
to drag that
without
shit out.
feeling like rushed.
Yeah.
You know, like it felt every moment got its due. And it wasn't like he was just like racing through the.
No, we had talked about the timing of it because we were like, all right, so the Coheed piano music is going to be about 2:30. We'll walk out to that. We'll be up there however long he's going to talk. Raya had been like, oh, I've got notes of like 400 to 500 words for my vows. I was like, excuse me? That's a little long. And she's like, well, it's like 3 minutes. I'm like, how fast are you going to speak these vows if they're going to be 3 minutes of 4 to 500 words?
Yeah.
So we ended up being, I think she was around 350, I was around 370, somewhere right around
she
there.
cut it down.
She formed like that was the note version, so she formed it down and wrote it, and then it ended up being right around there. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, I hope we talk for about 2 to 3 minutes each. And again, we were only allowed to be on the beach for I think about 45 minutes, once including you guys being seated. So we were basically allowed to be there from like 7 to 8:15, and a little bit before that because you guys seated a little earlier than that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the whole point. And it's like it's not going to be religious. We don't need to go on with a lot of this stuff. Like the whole point of it is basically we want to say our own vows and say them to each other and make sure you guys are all entertained by being on a fake beach with a wave pool that
cool.
somehow
I was converted
is on the strip. And that was, I mean, you had mentioned it too. When Raya first started looking about Vegas, she was looking at some of the chapels and stuff like that. And I'm like, or we could do a hotel. And the Mirage or Mandalay Bay were our plans. Mirage is now no longer open.
Yeah.
So that would have been a bad idea if we tried to do that one.
Uh-huh.
And the Mandalay Bay is the hotel we like the most. We enjoy it. We like that beach. We go down to that beach all the time. It's nice and relaxing for the reasons I told Sean of.
Yeah.
If he shows up at the right time, he can really enjoy the beach in not 120-degree weather. But it was just like, how can we be in Vegas but then make this not feel like a typical Vegas-y type of wedding?
Yeah.
And the joke was, Raya's from the desert in Casa Grande. I'm from the beach in California. So we got married on a beach in the desert. Was kind of the ultimate point. And then, I walked out and I was actually blown away. I was impressed that it was as nice as it was with the cool cauldrons lit up. And thankfully it wasn't windy, so we were able to do that. I mean, I liked the waves going, and then I realized, that's going to drown out some of the thing, which
I loved it. I was telling that. I don't remember if I mentioned on podcast. I probably did. I love the noise of it.
Yeah.
It was a really nice ambiance.
It just might be tough to pick up on video.
Yeah.
So hopefully you have a text version of your vows, so you'll always have a version of it because there's going to be pieces of that you may not be able to hear.
We actually still have the paper copies that we read to each other that we ended up holding because impromptu, I was like, Ryan, you're not going to hold that shit and then hold the mic at the same time.
Sure. And now you can frame them or something.
That's exactly what my plan was to do.
Did you guys cry? I don't think you did.
We couldn't tell because we were 4 seats away from you.
Yeah, right. I couldn't see your face.
Raya almost got me.
Okay.
And then so I started just kind of like delusionally laughing.
Okay.
And
right.
So that pulled me back from crying a little bit, and I think I got her to tear up a little.
Maisie was crying.
Yeah, well, she was
from
drunk.
the fucking word go.
She was drunk too.
She was
so.
like, "I'm not gonna cry," and then like Raya was like, "Cody," and she's crying.
Like the first bridesmaid walks down the aisle. She's like, "Nope, done."
Well, you lost those long.
The funny thing we were also offered was we could have had music playing during the ceremony, and I was like, why would I do that if the waves are going? That's way cooler.
Well, that's like the arena experience we were talking about with hockey versus basketball, where it's like, I don't know if people are going to be able to pay attention to this wedding for 25 minutes. We better get some jump jams in there.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, you could do this. And I'm like, no. I'm like, we'll pick the 5 piano-y songs that the piano guy will play when you guys are seated. We had like a list of like 40 we could pick from. And there was actually 5 we liked a lot. So I was like, that's cool. And then we just picked our own entering music. And then we had picked our very hilarious wrestling entrance exit music.
Everybody kept talking about Glorious, and I was like, I don't get it. And then I think Chris was like, it's wrestling, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was shockingly, that was legitimately mostly Raya's call.
Nice.
She very much likes the Glorious Bobby Roode entrance and has loved it for, I don't know, Chris, 7-8 years.
Something like that.
But then you snuck in Coheed, so it was perfect.
I got Coheed on the entrance, and then she got that on the exit.
And I guess it makes sense just because she was the one who referenced it in her vows, too.
Yeah, and that was deliberate.
She would be the one who pushed it more.
Yep.
So Maisie said she was out walking the dogs and yelled, "I did not." But that's, to be expected. She doesn't remember half the weekend because she was blackout.
Wait, she said she did not cry?
That's right.
So I think
she cried.
I think the answer is I should just bring Maisie with me to Vegas, and she'll live it up like crazy.
She will. She had a great time. Yeah. We need to do something about the drinks that you buy and walk around with, though, because they need to be stronger. like the really big.
Did you get the like Fat Tuesday like blended ones?
We've done
or...
that before, and she just said like she drank the whole thing and was like, I didn't even get a buzz because it's just so sugar.
So the girl who was drunk said she didn't get a buzz. I don't know why you're believing her.
Well, Dave corroborated.
Dave, you can just handle his liquor better. That's my answer.
Yeah, well, he was like, yeah, it wasn't all, it was a sugar rush. And I just started, and I got really sick. What a great time to come on the show, Dave.
Yep.
And I was like, was that the sugar rush, or was it so alcoholic? I don't know.
No, it was a sugar rush.
Okay.
Well, that's why
that is what you said.
That's why I make my own drinks and I walk around the strip with them myself, and I get myself very drunk.
Dave, we can't fight. I started the episode by saying we have an alliance now.
And I'm here to ruin it.
So you have to
When
let
did that
me
occur?
say whatever I want to you.
Yeah.
And you just have to take it because
That's not an alliance.
we're allied.
That's a dictatorship. This is the dictatorship.
It's a
Tomato.
Sean-tatorship.
I said, do you want an alliance or not?
It's Donald Trump all over again.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Why have I
We're
never
back.
heard that
Oh,
one?
yeah. There was
Yeah.
a whole thing.
I missed that.
Yeah. Well, I ran for president, so that was a long time ago. That was
Sean's a
before your
good
time.
name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's a
pitch.
strong-
I'm gonna pitch that one to Raya.
That's a strong name, yeah.
We're still in need of a boy's name, so I'll pitch that to Raya and
Seanald.
see.
Dave, we vamped long enough. You're here. We almost didn't make it,
Here.
but we just did.
I mean,
make
we
it.
didn't really vet. We talked about the thing I was going to talk
Well,
about, and now
that's true,
Dave's
actually.
here.
Yeah, that's
So actually,
That
we're a
is
half
what
an
we
hour
did.
in, so basically it's time to do the 3-person team challenge.
yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Also, last
Does
thing.
button work? No.
Last thing.
Last
I
thing.
am very happy you all had a good time at the hockey game. We lucked out. It was a much better game than it could have. I appreciate all the things you guys talked about last week. I won't dive back into them. But for a sport that you guys, again, don't regularly watch, I genuinely, like, really mean it. I appreciate going in with an open mind, and then you got lucky and had a really good game.
Yeah. Especially the ladies, Cody. The ladies loved it.
Yeah.
Cody, I really do want to talk to you about that, though. I'm a little pissed off at you, though, for that. Because, like,
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, you've ruined. I've tried for literally going on 20 years now with Courtney to love basketball. 20 years taking her son's games, college games, watching the NCAA tournament, NBA playoffs, the finals. One hockey game.
Okay,
I think she's already
take her
more
to
sold
another
out.
game, and when it's 1-0 or it's 7-0, she's going to be like, why the fuck do we watch this shitty sport? Show
That's
it to
fair.
her on TV for one game,
Yeah.
and they find a boring one, and you'll see. Because, again, thankfully, we were at a game of number 1, number 2 seed in the West versus number 4 to 6 in the West. So you basically got a first round, second round type of atmosphere between franchises that are very quickly becoming rivals. So, yeah, again, we lucked out. I appreciate you guys all. I've told everybody, I'm like, I'm glad everyone was willing to pay the unfortunate amount of $100, but yeah, it was great. Again, that was one of the fucking absolute highlights. It was everything I had dreamed of when I saw that game pop up on the schedule the day before our wedding. Absolutely came true. Just
Especially because your team won.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Raya's team lost.
I was also pretty drunk for part of that game, and I was talking a lot of shit. So
You were, but you were also surrounded by a section of other Kings fans that were definitely helping to egg you on.
I was. Thankfully, one of my close friends really enjoyed the fact that he could just talk shit in Spanish.
Well, so
and
this-
shared the
that.
whole time.
So there was a guy that was like, "Oh my god!" like from the stands, like a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then he did it at the wedding the next day. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's the
It's-
same guy."
That would be Scuba. It's Steve chose to do that. My friend who got married in September, so he was
There
very
you go.
much living it up. So, anyways, with that, I will let us go on to the game. Sorry.
And
Okay.
by the way, last thing I'll say, with the cost, I was like, that's a little high for tickets for where they were, and I was like, but that's the Vegas price.
Yep.
Every show's $100, so why wouldn't that be $100?
And
Yeah.
honestly, because they're successful, they're a Stanley Cup champion from a couple years ago. They sell out.
All right, well, the two of you have done this before. This is 20 questions. We're going to do it about NBA players. Sean also knows how this works because he was participating last time, even though he wasn't. Dave.
He's in the fucking shadows cheating.
I'm mad at him for not participating and getting the credit, even though I had to like give it to him on a secondhand basis.
Yeah, and now I'm actually here, and I'm not going to get anything. I'm not going to help
You're
at
gonna be
all.
terrible
So
this
like
week.
that's how it's going
I'm
to
gonna.
work
I'll
out.
text you. Don't worry, Sean.
Well,
Okay.
I'll text you to help you.
Okay.
Your goal this time, since last time it was 50 and that was too easy, is 45 total across these 3 questions. So it's kind of like 15 questions, but if you need more than that on one of them, that's okay. You can use them, but then you're going to have less for the future ones. So just
Okay.
keep that in mind. 45 across the 3. We'll go a little quicker. I would say don't spend so much time on the first few this time since you've done this before. Obviously, as you start to hone in on it, I don't mind you taking time and thinking and talking about it. But like maybe question 1 should come in the first 15 seconds and not 4 minutes. That's just a random suggestion,
Dave.
not based on anything in particular.
That's a Cody fault because you refused to ask a question.
You guys had a pretty good
strategy.
You developed like, okay, there are some good go-to questions that I think we just lead with those.
So I have the easy locked and loaded. You can fire questions when ready. Just make sure you make it clear when you're actually asking me one and not talking amongst yourselves.
I think the best first question should be, is it Jason Williams? But that's just me. But
is the nickname of this person white chocolate?
That's like even worse somehow.
Does his nickname include the word chocolate?
Right.
Just not
There
white,
you go.
not dark,
There
not
you go.
milk, just chocolate.
So yeah, what was the one that there was like
We did Western
com-
Eastern is the one we did quite often. So you want to start with that then, Dave? Yep. Thanks. Good job. Appreciate it.
Actually, I prefer knowing whether it's an active player or not. That's usually where I like to know because then I can kind of compartmentalize it a little bit.
Okay, is this player currently active in the NBA?
Is this
Let's go with
player
that one.
active? No.
Did this player spend the majority of his career in the Western Conference? Okay, he told me
Primarily
to
the Western
hurry.
Conference. No.
Oh, okay, I'm out.
Okay, so
He's an inactive Eastern Conference player. I don't know who he is.
that's East or
Central?
like Toronto. Too far north. Just kidding. That's in
They're
the
in
East.
Eastern
I know. I'm kidding.
Did they die in a tragic helicopter
No, it's
accident?
not a Western Conference person, Mike. We know it's not Western Conference.
Yeah, but I mean, it would really hone it in.
Yeah. Okay, so they're an Eastern Conference player that how many divisions are
We're not
in-
doing divisions anymore. We're done.
No, because we got ruined with divisions because they've changed over time. There used to only be 2 divisions. Now there's 3. It just ruined
And
us,
it tricked
so.
the whole Seattle thing. And I was like, Dave, wasn't Seattle in the Pacific? And he's like, no, go fuck yourself. They weren't. And then they were. And he pissed me off. So we're not doing divisions anymore until like the last 5 questions
Right.
if we're desperate.
I like the All-Star is probably a pretty good question because it's still gives you an idea of if they were good. Although you get some weird players in an All-Star game.
But it was helpful. And again, for easy, most likely they probably are a prominent player. As Chris was telling us, he wasn't going to make a fucking no-name random person, but it's probably worth doing.
So do you think All-NBA or All-Star then? Because I was saying All-NBA is like too inclusive or too small.
For an easy one, we might want to do MVP.
Yes. Did they ever win an MVP? Is that what you want to go with, Dave?
Yes.
Okay. Did this player ever win an MVP award?
Nope. In the wrong window.
You know what we should have done?
Too late. We have more. We can still do it.
This is a bad question if they were never an All-Star.
Nope.
Well, okay.
Player did not win MVP.
Well, you know what, Sean? You were right. You were right. You tried to stop us, but I just was again. Chris told me to hurry, so I'm hurrying.
That's true.
I'll right through.
By the way,
Well,
I'll just give
now
you.
we need to narrow down.
I'm just gonna give you one tidbit
ahead.
from what I've seen from other people doing this with the baseball version that I saw. You can also ask about number of All-Star appearances. They did one where it was have they
Over.
been in the All-Star game 3 or more times? So it's not even just they got one fluke one like DeAndre Jordan or some horse shit.
I'm glad
was
you
like-
said that. I was going to say multi-time All-Star.
Yeah, so that way
was
you
gonna be
get
my
some
question.
idea of was this a good player
Yeah.
or a good player?
So
But
that
that's
was going to
just-
be my pitch.
'cause-
Do you guys want to do that?
Yes, that's
Were they
fine.
a multi-time All-Star?
Yes, that's fine.
And I mean, I guess I could be 2, but still, I had 2-time All-Star. This
Is that what you want? 2?
multi. Sorry.
So 2
Yeah.
or more All-Stars.
Great. Yeah.
Yes.
We also have decided that we won't do the traded thing. We'll just say, did they play for 3 or more teams? Shit like that, right? Was what we were going with.
Well, first I want to narrow down when they play.
No.
So
That was the next one. But I was trying to go through my brain of what we kind of screwed up last time. And the traded thing, we wanted to go with, did they change teams or whatever the fuck it was, phrasing. But yes, you should.
How did you guys do? Were they prominently in the 90s? Is that I didn't hear. How you
we
guys
said,
were.
did they retire by?
Yes,
Oh.
he
They
used retire by, which I thought was a pretty effective way of doing it.
Yeah.
So do you want to do
Kind
retire?
of.
Why don't we do 2000? Retire by 2000.
They retired by 2000, but then but
That's
my
25
way
years,
is
yeah.
it would take too many questions. If it wasn't the 90s, was it the 80s? Was it
Yeah.
the 70s? That's burning a
Yeah.
bunch of questions. So go ahead, Dave. What was your question?
Okay, why don't we do 2010? Retire by 2010.
Did they retire by 2010? No. Or sorry, no, that's
so
right. They did.
They
My
did
bad.
retire by 2010.
They did retire before.
I got distracted
2010.
by the other thing popping in trying to.
They were no
autofill.
longer an active player as of 2010.
They were not active in 2010.
Okay. So we're before then. Okay, so that's not in the last decade plus. Ooh, this is where once you start, now you're before, you almost want to narrow it down the time more, so then you have more of an idea of the CFA. There's a martial art name with his first name followed by Fu.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys
No,
do?
because Shaq won MVPs. Sorry,
How
Nick,
did you guys
it wouldn't work.
do like playoff success / like championships?
We just said if they won a
We just
championship.
asked if they won a championship.
Yeah, they won a final.
Did they ever have a ring? And that led
Yeah.
us to some problems of like if they were like a bench warmer at the end of their career at that point, or versus if they were a contributor to it.
Well, we could say were they a starter on an NBA Finals team?
Pretty good. A winning
God,
NBA Finals team.
But then what if
On a
it's the
championship
sixth man on a finals team?
Yes.
We would start eliminating
We're only-
people.
We're only gonna have that issue with Manu Ginobili, I think. Really, so
Andre Iguodala.
give me Iguodala.
So we don't really know when they played, and we don't really know.
We know when they didn't play.
Yeah,
Couldn't we say
Right
like,
now.
in the last 15 years.
There's a, I'm trying to
no,
think of
let's-
geographically. Isn't there a way to kind of get at it? Did they spend the majority of their career like north of some area that kind of tells us like, okay, it's either in,
How many
Dixon
fucking
line.
Eastern Conference teams are south of like the Carolinas?
Well, you could do the Mason-Dixon line, which is right along Washington D.C. basically, but that still only leaves like the
Like, have
Heat,
you? Like, did you want to say that?
Magic.
I will point out that while I will probably try to go along with questions like that, the Mason-Dixon line is not on Basketball Reference.
Damn.
You don't know where that is? Come
I
on.
think I probably have to look it up just to make sure I don't lead you astray.
I
Because
mean,
if I'm wrong, then
if-
it's going to make the whole thing ruin.
If I phrase it like, did they? No, I don't even want to say New England because that limits itself to the not Toronto.
yeah.
No, Doug, this person did not win an MVP.
They're asking some great questions from the audience that are for one specific player. And even Mike, who's not the biggest basketball fan, is like, no, that guy's an MVP. So
Yeah.
I mean, there is a version at some day we say, is there like, are they connected by some degrees of separation to the cast of Space Jam?
Okay, so
That gets us at.
well,
I'm
then
not
you got
saying
the
we should
tall,
do
you got
that,
the tall shitty one. So there you go.
You get Sean Bradley.
Yes, just the
I-
tall shitty one. Yes.
Yeah, but
John Bradley and Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson could be one of them. So
Yeah. Do you want to go there?
no, I'm just saying. But like, you know, so that's like what? That's the I don't know enough about where Sean Bradley. That's the Knicks.
Dallas.
That's Charlotte. That's
Wasn't Sean Bradley Dallas for a lot of his career?
I think that was his most played team, but
yeah.
he played for a few.
Good, useless knowledge. Proud of that.
all right, we got to go with. We got to figure out.
I've asked multiple
when
questions, even if they were easy questions.
Go ahead.
So
Dave,
why
you
don't
got
we
an
just
idea.
go? Did they retire by 2000?
Is that official?
You'll do that. Narrow it down by
We
decade.
can. We
Or
can.
95.
We're getting
Go
to
to 95 to go even farther.
We're getting to what my question was, but I think that's fine. So let's do it.
We'll try
2000.
yours on the
Let's
next
do-
difficulty.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Crybaby.
No, I'm okay with it. I'm just saying it is the
95.
same.
No,
Did
it's
they
not.
retire by 1995? No. For real this time, no.
Okay, so they played in between 95 and 2010.
They retired between then
They retired sometime between then.
because they could have played in 1992. Just didn't retire.
Yeah, that's all right. But we know that they
Stop. They
were
ceased
retired by
playing.
2010. Yeah, they stopped playing by 1990. They stopped playing after.
Can we ask their skin color again? Because I like that question.
It's actually a pretty.
I really enjoy this question.
Wait,
Except for the
let's-
problem is if they aren't white, it's
Yeah,
useless.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So wait, let's do. You guys had a question about like, did they play their
front
career
quarterback,
primarily?
front quarterback court.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is a good
Yeah,
one.
There you
front
go.
Front quarterback. Let's do
Yeah,
that
let's
one.
go with
Were they primarily a front court player?
Primarily front court? No.
An
Okay,
Eastern
so they are a
Conference All-Star
guard.
guard that retired between 95 and 2010.
That's 7 questions. We have
Mm.
13 left for the audio listeners.
This feels like a Nick to me for some reason. Like I'm thinking along the lines of John Starks for some reason.
I did. Was he? Yeah. Actually, I don't know.
He was an MVP.
Was he playing still in after 95? Was he still part of the?
I'm pretty sure he was on that finals team in 98.
That was gonna be my question. So
I am thinking about you, Nick. That's always what I do. Well, how about do we want to? So we can narrow this down. If they're an Eastern Conference guard, we can ask if they made the finals, and then we can narrow down the teams of who played in the finals between
95 and 2010.
Yeah, I know those.
But they could have made the finals before 95.
That's true. But I still know those because everybody before 95 was the Bulls or the Pistons.
yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
Then go ahead and formulate your
I
finals
don't
question.
mind that, but
did this player
but then
play
they,
in
but
the finals?
the only flaw, Dave, is
What do
if
we
it
got?
is who you. If the answer is no, it almost doesn't do anything. It just eliminates two teams.
Well, it eliminates anybody between. It eliminates a lot of teams that made the finals, like the Nets, the Pistons, the Bulls, the.
Oh, did they
even the
make
Celtics.
the finals?
Yes. Then not did they win? Did they make the finals?
Okay. All right.
make the
Okay.
finals, Yeah. Did they make the finals with this team in the Eastern Conference team?
Did they make the finals? Yes.
Okay. So it could be. So we're talking sometime in between 95 and 2010. Yeah, let's say even 90 and 2010. So we've got the Bulls, we've got the Pistons, we've got the Magic, the Knicks.
Is this player the coach of the fucking Dallas Mavericks?
Oh God, this is not helping at all.
No, but it could be Jason Kidd, is what I'm saying.
It could be. You're right, but we just might as well ask. Is it
No. I don't think it's Jason Kidd. I'm creatively, thinking of who it could be. You said John Starks. Could be Jason Kidd. He made the finals in that time period.
Yep.
Could be Allen Iverson. Did Allen Iverson win an MVP?
Yes.
So it can't be Allen
He hasn't
Iverson.
won.
Jason Kidd
Yep. Did
not win an MVP.
I don't believe so. No. I keep it's weird. I still think of Jason Kidd as a Western Conference player because he was a Suns and a Mavericks. In my head, he's still Suns and Mavericks, not Nets. Even though he played for the Nets much longer, but he came back for the Mavericks. So, but he did. No, it can't be Jason Kidd. He had retired. He was on the 2011 team that won the finals, didn't he? Wasn't he on that team that won the finals?
Good call. And he's probably primarily not, to your point,
Western Conference.
Eastern. He probably is primarily Western. So
okay, so I think Cody, we have to go. We have to find out if they played in North or South because I think that'll help us narrow down.
Fine,
Whether
ask your dumbass division question. That's fine. Go ahead. Hope you remember the Eastern Conference divisions.
Why don't we ask? Did they play in a state north of Virginia? There we go.
Chris.
I don't have to worry about the damn Mason-Dixon line.
I would have to look that. I'm not going to know off the top of my head.
Can you say did they play for a team that was north of Virginia and not state because Toronto was not
never
a
been
state?
a geography podcast.
It is now.
Are we locking that in?
I'm letting Dave do whatever he wants.
I like it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Chris pulls up a map.
The map.
Maryland is north of Virginia if you play for the Bullets or the Wizards.
I mean,
the Wolves. We're really making a mockery of your game. I know.
Maybe.
Yes.
I think you should make a maybe, and I think it should be blue.
I wasn't expecting to have something that was going to be not, definitive.
I don't like the question mark because it won't turn the thing yellow or
I know.
green.
It sure won't, and that's going to be a reminder of what a bad question it was.
That's fair.
You know what we could do is so Northern Virginia, what does that imply, Dave? What's a team that it was
So it could be Cleveland, Philadelphia.
Are you looking at a list of the teams?
No.
No,
not at all.
He might have a map, but go ahead.
Think
Which is fine, by the way, I think.
It's not fine.
Because now it's a geography. So
That's geography. No, it could be Detroit. It could be okay.
So what you're saying is you didn't narrow down shit.
It can't be the Heat.
It's not Miami.
Anybody on the Magic.
Oh, exciting! Oh, I'm so excited. Thankfully, we rolled out all the Heat players from.
It could have been Rashard Lewis. All right. It's not.
It's not Tim Hardaway.
It's not Tim Hardaway. There we go.
What about would you guys do primary stat
That one was tough because I didn't know whether we needed to do like a 3-point shooter or not.
Yeah,
Like,
and
is he a
we
good
already know
3-point
that
shooter? It's too subjective.
we know their backcourt.
Yeah.
Already.
Yep.
Yeah.
You need to figure out the team now. You really need to figure out which team they were on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Then-
did they make the finals? Yes. So let's go through 95 and 2010. Like,
They
Yeah,
could have.
95
They could have
finals
made
was
the
the
finals before
Knicks.
95. They could because they didn't retire by 95. They could have played in 1988. They could have retired in 1996.
But even so, okay, 88 Pistons.
That's
so
all I was saying. You have to go
Pistons,
back.
That's a good point.
Pistons, Bulls. Magic, Knicks, Bulls. Knicks. 99 was the. 2000 was the Nets. 01, I think, was the
Couldn't this be
76ers.
Isaiah
Nets.
it could be Isaiah Thomas.
Right? He
It could
retired
be
after.
Detroit.
He retired after 95.
I don't think so.
Was he before 95?
No. And he won a championship.
We didn't ask if he didn't win a championship. We just said did they make the
Oh,
finals.
we didn't ask that. That's a good point. I don't think he retired after 95, though.
Did
I think
Isaiah
he
Thomas
retired
never
before
win an
95.
MVP?
I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
I mean, he played right in the Jordan era, man.
This
It killed
game's
him.
hard.
And crowded out by Magic and Bird.
Well, what
Mm-hmm.
you guys should do, I've messed up your flow. You guys should ask your questions, and I was just listening and
then you will
putting
criticize.
things
He
together.
He was chiming.
Yeah.
And you will criticize.
All
Okay.
right. Cody, ask your racist question.
That's not a good question.
It's not racist. It's completely acceptable. People
It
are different
is-
colors.
It is acceptable.
He doesn't
I
believe
don't
it
think
helps
it's a good
enough.
question.
He doesn't like that it doesn't
Unless
help.
it happens to be.
It was a good question. We were trying to figure out if it was a pasty player.
yeah,
or
just
not.
like the Mason Dixon line. That's a bad question unless it's fucking Orlando, and then we're
when we were choosing between is it a white guy or a black guy, it was a really helpful question. This early, that's like a 16th question. It's not really like a 9th or 10th question. I'm just saying.
Okay, so then we need to figure out the team. Okay, do you just want to start asking?
You want to say that they
team?
just find out if they won the championship or not,
All right.
right? Did they
played
win a
for-
title?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's that. That's it.
which is actually a good question to
Did this
pair
player win a
with.
title? No.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, now think of all your
So, it
shitty
could be
Eastern
Nets.
Conference teams that got
So-
blown out.
isn't this kind of New York leaning
Yes.
again?
Knicks or
Yes,
Nets. Yeah.
it is.
So
I mean, you can confirm that if you want. You can just say, do
Oh.
we play for this
oh,
player
that's
play in New York?
50-50, so we know either way. Is this player on the Knicks?
There you go. Yeah.
Is
Was.
this
Or
player?
was it?
Was this player?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to punish you
No.
for that. No, they retired. Stupid. Was this player on the Knicks? No.
Okay, so
It's
Nets.
on the Nets.
Nets backcourt. Okay.
So like
Keith Van Horn.
No, it's got to be Richard Jefferson.
I was gonna
right?
Richard Jefferson was my first.
Yeah,
Is he an unsufferable commentator?
Did he go to the actually? Did he
Oh.
go to the U of A? I mean, but that would only one. Oh, if he said no, it doesn't help me. Yes.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
Richard
know enough about
Jefferson.
college to be like, oh, that's actually
Oh,
a great
agree,
question.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, you want to go for it?
yeah, because he played on other teams, right? But he was primarily Eastern. Yeah. Just go, Richard. Is it Richard Jefferson? Sure.
Yeah.
Is it Richard Jefferson?
No.
No.
You guys pulled the trigger way too early.
Mm.
We lost.
I think
All
he's
right,
a
move on.
small forward, by the way.
He's.
Yeah. I mean, especially back now, it's so positionless. But
Because it's
back
not
then,
him. I don't
it's-
have his page up. I'd be interested to see what. Because I will go off of what Basketball Reference lists as their primary, but I think he'd be a 3.
He kind of floated. I think he kind of floated between.
Earlier in
2
his
and
career, he
3,
played more 2. He was a 3 by the end for sure, so who knows?
I feel like I vaguely remember him
That's-
guarding Kobe a decent amount in those finals when they played the Lakers, but that was out of necessity, not really out of he's playing shooting guard.
Okay, so backcourt guy
8 questions left.
didn't play in the Knicks. We
Wait,
figure it's
couldn't-
the Nets.
So he's not on the Knicks. Couldn't he be on? We talked about like
the 76ers.
yeah,
He could be
Philadelphia.
the 76ers. Yeah.
So it wasn't.
I don't think it's
50-50. I
Eric's-
forgot about Philly.
Oh God. No, wait. Did Allen Iverson win the? Yeah, Allen Iverson.
You know that- you know
won
the-
the MVP in
You know,
01.
the Pacers also made a final in there, right? Didn't they make a final in there at some point?
No.
Are you sure?
I think that was before
I'm just it was,
95.
was it? Okay.
No. Pacers
the
didn't make
Pacers
finals at
didn't lose to
all,
the
I
Lakers in the
think.
finals.
Did they?
That-
You would
that
know
didn't
better
happen?
than me in those years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did
That
they?
didn't happen.
Win.
during the three-peat of the Lakers? Am I fucking insane right now?
Oh fuck. No.
Who did the Lakers beat in those three finals?
Nets, Philly.
Yeah.
But
No.
I have.
Oh no, I think you're right.
Yeah, I know I'm fucking right.
Wait, who? But it was Nets twice.
Wasn't it?
It was the Nets were 0-3 against the Spurs.
Nets were not against the
Oh,
Lakers.
because so the Nets did keep making it. It was against
the
every team,
Pacers,
and
Nets. Yep, the Pacers made the finals against the Lakers.
Cody, I was gonna say I do
Okay.
remember the Pacers in the finals because
The
I remember
Lakers-
I was rooting for
The Lakers kicked the shit out of them.
them. Yeah, they sure did.
So
So
I feel like this is Reggie Miller now.
uh-huh.
Cody, do it.
Well,
You want to go right? I mean, I just threw out an idea, and you just want to go right to the question.
Yes, I do, because he had to think about Mason-Dixon, Virginia, and it's Indiana is barely north of Virginia.
Is it? No, I don't
It
know.
could be a million of
I know, it could
I
be.
made a mistake going Richard Jefferson. That was a mistake.
So I'm not allowed to make a mistake.
Okay.
Not
Do you
the
wanna-
same
You
mistake.
want to ask if he's on the Pacers? Because if it's not on the Pacers, then
Yeah, why
Yeah,
don't we ask if he's on the Pacers?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Is this player on the Pacers? Was this player on the Pacers?
Pacers.
Pacers.
Is this player on the Pacers?
Packers.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Championship.
I mean, it doesn't have to
Feels
be,
like this is-
but it's easy.
It's also
right?
the easy category.
So it's not going to be. Yeah.
Is this player
Yeah.
Reginald Miller?
Is he a terrible commentator? Damn it! Still doesn't. Never
Sean's
narrow
question
out
would have cost you one because asking about that on Richard Jefferson would have been a yes, but not Richard Jefferson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was kidding, of course, but it was funny hearing that, and also the John Starks mention. It's like, it's not John Starks, but it's kind of connected to John
Should have
Starks.
just asked Reggie Miller. Should have just done it. We wasted a question.
Yeah, I was like,
Dave
God, if
was
they don't
right.
remember that the Pacers made the finals, this is going to be much harder than I thought the easy was going to be.
No,
I sat on it for a while because I was like, I think as Dave was listening to him, I'm like, I'm pretty sure the Lakers kicked the shit out of Reggie Miller in the finals.
we did this the right way though. Like
Yes.
asking the Pacers, that was a smart way to do it.
Okay.
He tried to trick us with a team who never should have been in the finals.
I do want to just make it known that Richard Jefferson is a better commentator than Reggie Miller, because Reggie Miller is possibly
Yes.
the only supersede.
Cool.
Reggie Miller is possibly only succeeded by Mark Jackson. I think that's the only worst.
Sure.
One worst.
I don't
Succeeded
know.
or,
Who was
or
the person that was like-
subseeded?
Who was? And it's unfortunate because she's a lady, but she was like, "Does a flagrant have to be intentional?"
Burke.
Doris Burke. That was unfortunate. Anyways,
She was learning.
round 2.
You have a medium. You have 14, which is technically on pace, but then again, that's kind of not in a way. But
It's
you're trying to beat 45.
We'll do better this time.
Was this player active? Dave, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Is this an active player?
Is
Yeah,
this an active player?
I think same.
Was this an active player?
Is this player active? Yes.
Okay, they're playing currently.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the
then
second
we
one?
can ask,
Good luck,
are
guys.
they currently on a Western Conference
Yes.
team? Because then that would really help us.
like right now, are they on a Western Conference team?
Yes.
Are they currently in the
Yeah.
Western Conference? Yes.
Okay.
They're currently a
Okay.
Western burger.
Now we can. Hey, now we can ask division.
Yes, you
can.
can.
No.
Yes,
Now
we
you're
can.
allowed to. When it's a non-active player, I'm not letting you do it.
Yeah.
Now I will let you do it.
Okay.
So go ahead and rattle them off
right.
right now.
Are they in? Yeah.
Um.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Are they in the Pacific Division?
Are they in the Pacific? No.
Ocean.
Okay.
If swear to God, if
now-
this is another fucking
now-
Timberwolf, I'm gonna get so pissed.
Would I do
Are
that?
they in the Northwestern?
Would I do that?
Yes, you fucking would. You absolutely fucking would.
Dave, is Minnesota in the Northwestern?
Yes.
Then
there.
we should ask that. Yes.
So Northwest is your
It
second.
doesn't
is your
really
next
matter
guess?
which. It doesn't matter which division we
Because
ask.
you're getting the
we'll
answer
Sure.
to Southwest or whatever it is.
So are they in the Northwest?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Okay.
division. Okay, so they're in the Southwest Division. This is Dallas, San Antonio, Oklahoma City.
Fuck, it can't be
New
Luka.
Orleans,
What a
and
bummer.
Memphis.
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
anymore.
No more.
Um,
It's not Luka now. So Dallas, New Orleans, Memphis, San Antonio.
Back court, front
Houston.
court, I think.
Good question there, Josh.
Is that what you want? Which one?
Yeah, however,
Are they primarily a
Either
backcourt
way,
player?
Yeah.
Backcourt?
This is harder now because it really
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I
is.
suppose,
Giannis a
but-
backcourt or front
Are they
court?
primarily backcourt? Yes.
Okay, so they're
All right, so
guard.
we got a guard. Got a guard in the Southwestern Division.
So like,
Medium question.
Do you want to?
Here we can knock.
Because
We can narrow stuff down. We can narrow stuff down by asking: they currently play in Texas? Because there's 3 teams in
Yes.
Texas and 2 teams not.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good.
That's a
one.
good question.
That's a good.
No,
One.
it's 2. Yeah, 3. Yeah.
It cuts it in half.
So are they currently in Texas?
I'm leaning towards Shay.
Are they playing in Texas?
I
Yes.
made a mistake.
You're wrong.
No, it can't be. I was wrong. Oklahoma City's in Northwestern Division.
Oh, okay, great.
So they're currently. So it's either Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio.
So,
They are a backcourt player in one of those places.
do you want to ask
Luka.
now if they've recently like changed teams or whatever? Or do you care? Because you
That's not. I don't think it's going to help me that much right now. Right now, no. I think we just got to start narrowing down the teams because we got 3.
So we have.
We got
So
3
we know
teams to
it's
work
San
with here.
Antonio, Dallas, or Houston.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if we did a question of, I'm thinking like drafted, because both teams have old and young players that could.
You want to say what year they entered the league? Did they enter
Did
the
they
league
enter the
before
league after
2020
some
or after
year?
2022?
Because then that gets us like Wemby
Yeah.
and like Jalen Green, I think.
Wemby definitely
Wemby.
primarily a backcourt player. Yes,
You know what I'm saying. Well,
big backcourt player.
God.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Shoot
think
a
you
lot
would
of
consider him
threes.
backcourt, but also he shoots a fuck ton of threes. So
Wemby
it's-
plays where Wemby wants.
Yeah.
So do you want to go with? Did they enter the league after blank year?
2018.
You want 2018? Okay.
I feel like that's pretty good, middle of the road, right?
Is that helpful? If he says yes, does that narrow it down? I mean, we know it's not Chris Paul then, but
I was sure. Yeah, I was trying to shorten it to like 3 years. Like, are they on a rookie contract or some shit like that?
Okay. Well, you can say. I mean, the problem is I'm not terribly familiar with the last couple drafts,
Well,
but
that's bad news for you.
You know,
Because this
I
is
know.
medium after
well,
all.
okay.
Dallas.
Were they? So you gonna do? Were they drafted after 2020? How about that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Were they drafted after 2020? No.
That means
Okay, so they're-
2020 or before. So they could be in the 2020 draft because after 2020 is the way that phrasing works, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
like
So
Kyrie Irving,
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox now.
mhm.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. Are they playing for the team that drafted them? Like that type of
Oh.
phrasing?
Oh,
Okay, that's good. I
that
like that.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
That's yeah.
Okay. Are
Let's
they?
do that.
Yeah. Are they playing for the team that drafted them?
Are they playing for the team that drafted
Yeah,
them?
original team.
No.
Okay.
So
Now let's narrow down the team. I think that'll.
yeah, you can narrow down the team. We should be able to get this
Uh,
in like 3 or 4
right.
more.
Yeah.
Are they playing for Dallas?
Are they a Maverick? No.
Are they a Spur?
Wait. Oh, it
Sorry.
doesn't matter. There's 2 teams left.
Yes,
it
doesn't
doesn't matter.
Are they a Spur? No.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, so Houston.
so it's Houston, and it's a player who Houston didn't
So
draft.
it's not Jalen Green. It's not Jalen Green because he was drafted by the
I
Rockets.
don't know a lot about Houston. Still playing for the original team.
What's his
okay, so
face?
it can't be Dylan Brooks because
Who the fuck did they sign from
It could be Dylan
from
Brooks.
Toronto?
it can't be Dylan Brooks.
Am I crazy?
He's on
He
Memphis.
had- he-
Still playing for the original team.
no, Dylan Brooks is on Houston.
But
I know, but
he started
somewhere
in
else.
Memphis, so he's not playing for his original team.
Yeah, so it could be Dylan Brooks. He's not playing for his original team.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
that's what I was
sorry.
saying. Yeah, I was trying to explain the shot.
Okay,
yes.
okay. I get what you're saying.
But who am I blanking on? Who the fuck did Houston sign from Toronto a couple years ago?
Oh.
Kyle Lowry.
yeah, Kyle Lowry.
No.
He's not on there.
No,
He's not
that's
on
what I'm
there
thinking
now.
of. I'm thinking of the wrong player.
I'm helping
wrong
by
team.
shaking my head, but that's not who he's thinking of.
Don't do that.
God, I know the
Houston.
least about Houston's team.
Is
This
it Chris?
really
do you know
funny.
who I'm like implying to, and I
Mhm.
can't remember the name? Thank you. Well, then I'm not going to pursue trying to figure that out because you just said no.
Anyway, so it's on Houston. It's not Jalen Green. I think I'm like.
Wait, couldn't it be Dylan Brooks then?
Yes, that's exactly what David
I
said.
think that's our only other option.
Yes.
I mean, we could ask if they're a starter, but that won't help us that much. I don't think, because I don't know much about Houston's bench. So if it's not Dylan Brooks, I'm kind of
having a hard enough time thinking they're starting 5. So,
Yeah.
And we haven't asked anything about how good they are, so it doesn't like there's no qualification we're missing with was he an all-star or anything.
I mean,
and I think there's
their
some other.
starting 5 is
They have a lot of other young guys on
Yes.
Houston. So
they do.
Dylan Brooks, is it Dylan Brooks?
Sean,
yeah,
go ahead. Yeah,
I'm
Sean
good
can
with
ask that. That's good.
Is it Dylan Brooks?
And if it is, how dare you, Chris?
What if I told you there were multiple people that fits the 10 criteria you have so far?
That's a problem for us.
But it is Dylan Brooks.
What's the
You
name of
know
the
who
player
el-
I was trying
who
to
else
think
The
of?
one you
could
were
it have
thinking
been?
of that fits the criteria for all this is Fred VanVleet.
That's who I was fucking thinking of. That's
Oh.
exactly who I was thinking
I
of.
know.
Nice.
Okay, so I was on the right fucking track.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yes, Van Vliet got
And had
signed
we-
from Toronto.
And had we not said Lowry, I knew that because I remember reading that Van Vliet was going to return when the Suns
Yes.
played Houston, and I was like, fucking great.
If that was a no and Chris hadn't shaken his head, I would have been like, no, who the fuck did they sign?
Well, we got it in one less question.
In yeah,
In
that's good.
three less
And
questions.
less questions.
Well, I'm just
Oh, you mean
I
one
think-
less question
like,
to try?
yeah.
Yes.
Like if it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
Dylan Brooks, we would have had to go a different
Well, good news,
one.
we have all 20 because that's the cap and it's 45, so.
Yep.
I think the fact of if they're a current player or not, it makes this extra easier hard.
Yes,
Basically.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
If it's a current player, it's like, okay, hold on, we got this.
Which means this hard player might be too easy, but here we go.
So they're an active player.
So just we're gonna go through the
They're an active
same.
player,
Chris, just
okay.
start typing.
We're doing
gonna
the
go
exact
You
same
know what?
questions.
I'm going to go ahead and make you ask the question anyways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's implied. Just keep going.
Were
Yeah.
they primarily a Western Conference player? Or
Western-
are they currently in the Western Conference? Do they play for a Western Conference team?
Yes.
Okay.
What was the next one?
He divisioned it.
Division. Yeah.
Okay.
Currently in the
Oh,
so
yeah.
Do they currently play in the Pacific?
Pacific. I like the
I was gonna say, which one?
specific.
You said two.
Specific.
So I like the
Pacific.
specific division.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Fun.
Okay. So
Do you want to just ask if they're a Suns player?
Yes. Go
Yes.
ahead and do it. It's fun. It's funny.
All
are
right.
they on the Suns?
Are they on the Suns?
No.
What do you- I mean, Cody said I wouldn't do this the first time. I'm
Okay.
not doing it twice.
Yeah.
So Suns, Lakers, Clippers.
Kings.
No, it would be funny to
Kings.
make you pick up like the most random person off the deep end of the Suns roster.
So Dave, we were
Is it Oso Iguodala?
Dave,
That's
we
not
were
random enough.
overexcited. We should have asked if they were a team in
California?
California.
Yeah, you fucking shoulda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although
All right, well,
now, it what are so
It's
Sacramento?
3-1. So
Sacramento. What's
Just
another team out of it?
just what?
Aren't they? What's another team not in California?
There's four.
in this
No, that's
division?
only four. They're all four there. I forgot.
Yeah,
It's
so
four.
so now we can't ask that. So we kind of did. Ask
You
that
did ask the
question,
question,
in a way.
actually.
Okay, that works.
Worked
You
out.
could do
back-
Northern or
Well-
Southern California.
We could say L.A.
Yeah, you fucking could just say they play for.
Are they an
that's
L.A.
fine.
team?
Mason
that cuts it in half.
Dixon. Are they in
No,
LA?
that actually cuts it in half. I like that.
Yeah.
Are they in LA?
Yes.
Okay.
So now we've Lakers or Clippers.
Lakers.
Um,
Well,
Just-
do we want to ask if they're starting?
I think we just narrow it. I think we just ask one question to get specifically the team, right? Just are they
that's
a
fine.
Laker?
Are they a Los Angeles Laker? No.
Okay.
Okay, so
the active.
how many players do the Clippers have?
Well, probably somewhere between 13
Yeah,
and
well,
15.
you're
So-
starting naming
given the
So
league
now just do
mandates.
front court, back court, and you'll narrow it down to
front
5
court-
players.
Front court, back court. Front court, Chris. Are they a primary in the front court?
Yeah. It's the same question effectively, but gotta ask it.
Okay, good luck, guys.
Yes.
Figure it out.
So we got Zubac. We've got.
We've already won the
what
game.
is there from- I mean, Kawhi.
You don't have
Uh,
13 players you can ask.
Yeah. Do you know all 13 players in the Clippers? Because I don't.
You won't need 13. They're not all fucking front court players.
Fine. Do you know 7 players in the Clippers?
I know
'Cause
4.
I
I know 4 Clippers.
So wait. So Dave, front court on Zubac. Who else?
Yeah.
I mean, Paul George,
Coach Paul.
Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
No, Paul George isn't on there anymore. Sorry, he's not on there anymore. Sorry.
Old habits.
He just died in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, he is
we
currently
we
dying.
played them like a
yes.
million times, and I'm trying to think who else big is on that team.
Paul George was like, I'm going to stop podcasting so much so we can make a run at a title. It's like, Paul George, you're 23 and 48. What the fuck are you talking about?
Now we could ask the white question.
Oh,
but,
we can ask the white question
but we don't
now.
need to because there's only one, as far as I know, one white player that matters.
So
So,
just ask if it's
so
him.
it's ask if it's Zubac
Just
at
fucking
that
ask
point.
if it's him.
But it could be Kawhi. Is there a question that gets at that in a better, more interesting way? Like, God, Dave, do you know if Zubac's played his whole career in
No.
He played for the Lakers
Played for the
before.
Lakers.
So
played for the Lakers? So like, but Kawhi,
Kawhi's on multiple teams.
yeah,
Kawhi won a championship, and did Zubac play for the
Zubac
Lakers?
did as well with the Lakers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought he
fuck.
did with the Lakers, didn't he? So that didn't help.
I mean, we have how many? Do you just want to go with Zubac? And
It's
if
the Zubox.
if it's not him, we're in trouble anyway. So
Yeah, you are in trouble.
we have
yeah.
2 guesses: Zubac and Paul and Kawhi Leonard.
and Kawhi Paul. Yes.
If it's not either
It's
of
not Kawhi
them,
Leonard. No, Well, if it's not, I don't think it's Kawhi Leonard because that wouldn't be a hard one.
That was my other thinking. Why start with Zubac?
Let's do Zubac. Let's just
'Kay.
ask it.
All right.
Fuck it. If we're right, we're
All
right.
right, what's his first name?
Ivaka.
Ibaka. Ivica.
Is that really his first fucking name?
Is it Ivica Zubac?
Yeah.
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 Nice.
So
Much too
we
easy.
went
We killed that one.
14, 11.
Yeah,
8?
you fucked yourself pretty bad on Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
But then I made the easy. Or the
Well,
hard
if I
way
had
too easy.
remembered that the Pacers made a final.
You did really good on the Dylan Brooks one, and you did well on this one, to be clear. But that was too easy of a hard.
I really
It is.
when we think
it
of a
is sad.
question that like the LA or Texas questions, you feel very smart when you do that. That's why the game is fun. You know?
Well, the problem is on these, there is just such a severe divided line of active versus inactive. Like,
Yeah.
if they're inactive and they're active, it's like, okay, if they're active, I can go like, I've got a pretty good idea of who's in the NBA currently. If it's not in the NBA, I'm like, oh my God, like I got to figure out what era they
The
played
front
in.
court guys for the Clippers are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's bad.
Patrick Baldwin Jr. is a forward.
So I would have been fucked.
Nicholas
that.
Batum.
Yep. Thought
Drew
about him.
I would have
Eubanks.
known that.
Batum and Eubanks, if you gave me enough time,
God.
I maybe could have
So
gotten.
the white guy wouldn't have helped.
That's right.
The white question would have
Yeah.
You would have run into trouble. That's who I was
Did-
thinking of. I was like, I wish I had made it Drew Eubanks. And I could have pivoted because you wouldn't have given any clues away that I could have told I did
Yeah.
that. But I'm like, no, I picked this one.
Yeah.
Derek Jones Jr. and Kawhi Leonard are the only people
I
with
didn't
a
know Derek
forward.
Jones
Yeah,
Jr.
because
was
when
on
we
the
played the
Clippers.
Clippers the other day, not Zubats, Eubanks and Plumlee were going at it for like a series of like 10 minutes, and they were getting all chippy with each other. And I'm like, I hate both of you.
Remember when Eubanks plowed into Zach Edey and just stopped dead in his tracks, even though he was the aggressor?
Mm-hmm.
That was great. I don't like Eubanks, and he's a former Sun.
Isn't he a former Son?
Yeah, he sure is.
I thought he
Didn't
was.
really like him on our team. Don't like him now. Well,
Well-
so is that so, Chris? Are we gonna do a thing where now that we got it, now is harder the next time, or was that? Do we see that was an easy one and it doesn't change
No,
the benchmark?
His answer's going to be he's not going to stop making them fucking active players.
Well, just let him say it.
He's going to stop making them active players.
I am going to make it harder because if
Okay.
ultimately you end up not getting one of them, then the line will move back.
Okay.
So it will adjust based on your performance.
Now I'm sorry. You're gonna make it harder by like making it the player harder, or like
Probably
we have less
both.
questions.
You'll probably have 40 next time, and the hard will be harder.
I mean,
I like that. We just keep going down.
Each round is 20 questions because that's just how the game is
When you
named.
win in City League, if you win the league, you have to move up. Like you don't have a choice. And then so
Are you talking about fucking volleyball?
if we keep winning, we have to keep moving down in the numbers of the guesses.
Yeah, the overall numbers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
He changed it from 50 to 45.
I mean,
Now
it's going to like 35 now.
next
Congratulations.
time, no, he said 40.
He's going 35.
So not only you asked him a question, then you answered for him, and then you didn't listen. when
No,
he gave
that, what part of that isn't me? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
What part of what you just said?
There's a reason why I'm in charge and he's not.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I'm here to cause problems
This
and
is what
remind you that the Pacers made a fucking final.
Dave, the thing that you missed was Cody no longer has an alliance because he does not value us as alliance members because he keeps winning trivia. So like he's above us. So until he loses, he is on an island. And this is his admission.
Yeah, it's on record. It's on the video.
Yeah.
So next week is just gonna throw that all into the shitter, right?
Well, not if he wins.
I mean, when I walk in here, very extra with a crown and this belt and all
Yeah.
other accoutrement that I'm.
I
going
just
to
want you to know the wheel can hear you say that.
I don't know. I've tried appealing to the wheel and I tried being mean to the wheel.
mean, the wheel-
and neither has worked.
I mean, the wheel's my bitch right now,
That-
so I don't know why
okay,
it matters.
well, that's-
like,
well, okay, now we're gonna.
what
find
difference
out.
does it make?
I have never called the wheel a bitch. That is
No,
new
I didn't call it
territory.
a bitch. I called it
Your bitch.
my bitch.
I don't think that's better. In
Oh,
fact, I think it's worse.
I'm imagining the wheel walking up, like waddling, kind of like the speak
Rolling?
and spell, like the speak and spell in Toy Story, like waddling over,
Yeah,
and then it like tags in the Wonderwall instead, just to fuck you.
yeah.
Oh, sure, do that. I'll lose right away. I have lots of respect for the Wonderwall.
Oh, that would be cool.
I love that one.
That would change things up.
I wouldn't consider that ending my three-peat because it wouldn't be ending my three-peat potential in the same type of game.
Oh, you're playing Sean rules
no,
now.
no.
where the game
I would
goes
say
down less
no.
than one
I
to.
don't agree with that. It's still your three-peat.
No,
if you
but
wanna
I'm
do-
creating a new version of Sean
You know, like
rules.
the NBA does, like this would break his streak of 20-point games when the opposing player has blah, and you're like, what even stat is this? What are you doing?
See,
That's what you're doing.
As a sports journalist who's literally created those horseshit stats as qualifications to make points, I'm doing exactly that.
Yeah.
The Wonderwall will return in episode 15. Next week is Trivia Night 13.
Ah, okay.
It's already been decreed, so it's not gonna be dictated by who's on a heater or whatever. That's just been the way it's been planned.
I like
it's gonna be every 5th episode gets the special Wonderwall. So next week will be a wheel. Will the wheel be different in some way?
I don't know.
It has been a little bit since we've seen that wheel.
Yeah, and it keeps getting tweaked ever so slightly just to make things a little more interesting. So
fine. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. It's great.
I hope that we see a wheel that's just like 75% fucking bankrupts.
What would the fucking point? What would the point of the fucking trivia be if 75% was like, hey, all that stuff you just knew we just did for 35 minutes, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but think about how much power extra rolls have now, though, and all of that.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Ask them.
I would really enjoy if we all bankrupted ourselves and we were fingers crossed to get a 50. And it was like, oh, it's 50 to 30 to 20. That'd be funny.
Yeah, but then would you pass like knowing at that fucking board? You're like, well, now if I pass to Dave, he's likely gonna. It would be fun.
Well, okay, by that logic, we could just play true or false for 5 things, get 5 spins, never do any trivia, and just be like, we'll decide how we win off of 5 spins.
Yeah, but the points still matter.
Not if we all had bankrupt right a fucking way.
Just like dealer.
God damn it.
So as you may have noticed, next week
that way, the points don't matter.
Next week is Trivia
Games are
Night.
made up. Points don't matter.
It's back. I don't remember when we did the last one. I guess it was the first non-year in review episode of January, so it's been more than 2 months. Cody will try to defend his title.
Actually, Cody,
this title right here.
Don't the points super matter? Because like if you're in first place, oh no, there's 4 spins.
The principal point was if there's 75% bankruptcies.
No, but I was thinking
we will probably all hit.
Do you immediately pass everything? But you can't because there's 4.
No, we can't because we have to spin.
Yeah.
That's why the 4 spins had to be there. The game didn't quite work without them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's why there's only a couple. We don't want it to be ridiculous where it feels like you're just spinning for no reason. But there had to be a couple because it was like, if you just pass turn 1, then what are we doing?
You can't do 75% every time. But if there was one time,
day
there was just the board of doom.
If there was one time when Sean struggled really badly during the trivia and was already 200 points down, he wouldn't mind.
No. I think it would happen when I was like in the lead. And I was like, oh, I'm finally in the lead.
Yeah.
It's like board of doom. I couldn't even complain though because I'm the one saying I like it.
It's like in Mario Party when you hit the Bowser space and everything turns bad all of a sudden. And Sean's like, oh, I'm winning by so much. And then he hits the Bowser space. And it's like, oh, there goes all your fucking coins and all your stars.
Yep.
And I would be absolved. There would be no guilt for me because I have to build that in advance. The wheel has to exist before I turn it on the screen. So like I can't be like, oh, Sean's winning, huh? Bankrupt.
I do like the idea though of you having 2 wheels and then deciding as the game's going on.
Yeah, I guess if I was clever in how I hid my sources in OBS, I could pull that off.
Yeah, like doing it, basically you'd be like the Left 4 Dead AI, like, oh, it's too easy.
Or he could just dress
Wheel
up.
of Doom.
He could just dress up like Bowser or like Toad.
That would also work.
It's a good wheel for Toad and a bad wheel for Bowser.
I have noticed he has not dressed up like a single Mario character yet.
I know, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I really am vibing with the Mario Party idea I had here. I like the idea that you create your own Mario Party board and we play a Mario Party version of a game.
What can you dress as for next week?
I'm going to wear a crown and a belt that's on my belt.
I'm saying Mario. You could be like King Toad. Wear like red. Red and white.
I had and may still have a beanie of Boo that I did connect a crown to because I did dress like King Boo.
You could do that. Okay, you have that. I don't know if I have a Mario thing, but I'll find one.
I don't think I have it. I mean, if I have it with the crown I have, that actually works pretty well.
That's what I'm saying. So you wear that.
I don't know that I still have this beanie, but I'll look.
Oh, okay. You look. Dave, do you have anything Mario? Your kids, there's all over the house.
Yeah, you gotta have like a Princess Peach costume around or something.
I see it everywhere. Your posters and all that.
Yeah, the kids have. I can have a poster. Sure, I can put a Mario poster somewhere in the background.
That worst case scenario, I think that works.
Yeah,
and I'll do something. I don't have a Mario anything, but I will order it. A hat, like a beanie.
It will happen.
Well, I'll do a beanie too. This is a great idea.
You used to have a beanie like this.
I love it.
It's great.
Wear that with a crown, and now you're King Boo.
They have a Goomba one.
There's no King Goomba. Actually, there probably is, but don't do that.
You've been denying that,
That's the end of the episode. We'll see you next week for Trivia Night. In between episodes, you can find us at our website, grayareas.live or youtube.com/@grayareaslive. We'll see you next week. Join us for trivia. A lot of people show up for those live ones. It'll be fun. You'll enjoy it. Go to YouTube. Bye.